Hey friends, Kylie here, your host of Dream On with Kylie O'Miller, back for another episode with one of the best goalkeepers in the game, an inspiration in every huddle, and someone I'm grateful to call a teammate. Thank you as always for tuning in. These episodes are recorded from a live Zoom webinar that I hold through the KO17 Lacrosse app and are constructed into this Dream On podcast that you have found here. I hope you are gaining some insight from these episodes from some of the people that I have met throughout my lacrosse journey that have imposed so much of their wisdom on me. If you're loving our episodes so far, show us some love in the reviews and rate us 5 stars. Also, be sure to SUBSCRIBE. It would mean the world to us. All right, we've got another special guest this week, and I'm pumped to get right into it. Caylee Waters is one of the most decorated goalkeepers in the game, with a World Championship gold medal being her most recent achievement. She is a former national champion with the Carolina Tar Heels, a multi-time captain in her 2 seasons playing professionally for Athletes Unlimited, and one hell of a ball stopper. Caylee is one whose enthusiasm about the game she's playing, meaning lacrosse or any other kind of competition that's set in front of her, comes from growing up playing sports with her brothers and her ability to seek out the fun in every aspect of the game. The way she speaks about her dreams to help spread the experiences that she's gained inside the crease to those future aspiring goalies across the world with her goalie instruction is so contagious. And I can't wait for you all to have a listen. Let's dive in. Okay, off to a hot start here. Welcome to another Dream On Pod with Kylie O'Miller. Today we have a really special guest in Caylee Waters. And she is rocking our Dream On t-shirt right now, which I'm just like stoked about. It's a Friday energy. And a little bit about Caylee Waters. She's originally from Darien, Connecticut. She's a UNC lacrosse alum. She won a national championship as a junior there. She was a goaltender of the year as a sophomore. She now plays Athletes Unlimited professional lacrosse. She's 2 years down. She's a multi-time captain. And most recently is a USA lacrosse gold medalist. So one of my teammates from this past summer. And Caylee, welcome to the Dream On Pod. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you. That was such a legit intro. I felt like I was like, watching you on TV broadcasting or something.
Sweet. Well, that's one of my goals. So thank you. I'm just practicing here. I appreciate it. No, so one thing we like to start with the Dream On Pod before I ask you all about your life and all these exciting questions is where you're at right now in this moment while we're recording. So 3 questions and we're off to a good start here. First one is something that you're thankful for today.
Oh gosh, just one thing usually.
Just one.
Okay. I am thankful for this fall day. I love waking up and seeing like every day there's something that changes about the leaves when I look outside, and it's like this big window just full of colors. So it really I look forward to kind of giving lessons outside today. So I'm thankful for the weather, fall crisp air, and just being cozy on my couch. Like I get to rock my own schedule and have a blanket. I'm on my couch and this.
Oh, I love that. I love that you said you have a blanket because I usually do too while I'm sitting here. Can't tell on Zoom. Okay, what is something that it is currently 1:34 on a Friday? What is something that you are proud to say that you've accomplished so far today?
All right. This may seem a little backwards, but I'm proud of myself that I didn't start doing any sort of work until like 12:30. I let myself relax. I was pretty tired this morning, so oh my goodness, I'm sorry. This is interrupting.
This is real nice.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I just get pretty hard on myself, and I'm like, oh, tomorrow I'm carving out this time to do this work at this time, and for once I just let myself be, and it felt really nice. So then I had a clear head when I did start work.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. I think that's so important. I need to do more of that for sure. And a lot of us listening probably do too. So kudos.
I'm not great at it, which is why it really felt like an accomplishment today.
Yeah.
I was very okay with just finally sitting down at 12:30 and be like, all right, I'm doing this.
So was there anything specific in your morning routine this morning that like you woke up and you were just like excited to relax and do? Like, was it like a specific cup of coffee or something that was just really special?
Well, so I live with Ella in White Plains, my girlfriend, and we've finally got a coffee maker a week ago. And that she was grinding up the coffee beans. I could smell it. And it's like those little things. I'm like, if I could have a candle that smells like coffee, I like love when I leave Starbucks and I can smell it on my sweatshirt.
Do they not make candles like that? That's a great call.
So there were a lot of little things about my morning. I have a kink in my neck, so that's like slowed me down a bit. I really am like kind of babying it. So that just like puts a damper, like everything I do is like a robot. So yeah, that's why I was like, okay, I'm just gonna let myself take
That's
it.
awesome. Good for you. I love that you mentioned that like it feels reverse to say, but it's an accomplishment for you. And a lot of us with busy schedules, like it is an accomplishment to kind of slow down and like give ourselves that
Yeah.
grace.
And you
So
probably feel that like coaching lacrosse the past 2 days I've been coaching till 9 p.m. and I get home at like 9:30. So it's like my whole day doesn't have to feel like I have to be doing something. It's like, it's just kind of shifted back a little bit.
100%. I struggle with that all the time. So thank you for kind of bringing that up. All right. Last but not least, what is something that you're pumped to go out and chase? Could be like the rest of today or this weekend, or it could be like in the future.
Well, I look forward to tomorrow playing pickleball.
Oh,
Yeah, finally getting out there. It's been a while since AU, I think. So Ella and I are playing tomorrow. I look forward to that. And then chasing, just meeting more goalies in the area. I'm from Connecticut, so I've known a lot of Connecticut goalies, but I'm psyched that there are a ton of middle school goalies, girls who are starting to get dedicated in middle school. Seeing that, and that there are girls that aren't forced to play goalie, they want to be there. So I really look forward to kind of meeting all the goalies in this area in the next month.
taking a quick little time out from our episode here to say a massive thank you for listening. Dream On started off as a way to have conversations with some of the people that I've been lucky to come in contact with and really dig deep into what makes them tick and how they've become so elite in their spaces. If you're enjoying these conversations as much as I have been, please consider rating us with a solid 5 stars and leave us a review. I love hearing all of your incredible thoughts on how we can continue to dream on together with these episodes. Oh, and subscribe if you're feeling cool. All right, let's get back to our guest. That's awesome. I'm excited that you're diving fully into lacrosse too. And we're going to get into that kind of conversation as well. But can you talk a little bit about, to start us off, so you grew up in Connecticut, like you said, what was your journey to finding lacrosse? Did you grow up playing other sports first, or was lacrosse your first sport? How did you find lacrosse?
Yeah, so I did play other sports, and that was something that as a kid I actually like loved to brag about. It's like, oh well, in this season I'm playing 3 sports, like soccer, baseball, and lacrosse. So I mean, maybe it's something that I still brag about. Anyway, so yes, I played a ton of sports. That's like kind of all I knew. As a kid, I have 3 brothers, and I wanted to do every sport that they played. So I played flag football and tackle football. That's what they did. I played baseball. I was, so like sort of like, I'm not playing softball, I'm playing baseball, which was cool. I got to actually be on my brother's team, and my dad coached. I played soccer and lacrosse were my main sports in high school. But I love the summertime. I hung out at the pool club a lot. So I was on the swim team, diving team, water polo, tennis. Trying to think, I played basketball.
So you were pretty busy from the get-go. You're used to the busy lifestyle.
That's all I knew. And then I think you asked about like how I got into lacrosse. Mm-hmm. So lacrosse was actually was the last sport that I ever picked up, in the sense of like learning a sport. And that was in 6th grade. I remember in the spring of 5th grade, a bunch of my friends, my elementary school, they were talking about lacrosse, and they would be going to a lacrosse practice. I'm like, what is this? Like, why are they all going to this practice? Like, I'm so used to going to soccer practice with them. And like, it's kind of like first experience of FOMO was in 5th grade. And I'm like, what is going on? I didn't even know that much about lacrosse, but I wanted to be there. So some of my first few memories were I was hanging out with my best friend Parker, and we were at our elementary school. After she lived nearby, so we just walked over, and they had a wall there, and her and a couple of our other friends, they were doing quick sticks, and I didn't have a stick, so I remember like having to patiently wait for someone to like let me borrow theirs and try it out. And from there, I just like wanted to be part of it, because at that point I just more developed athletically of understanding myself. I think in like first grade or second grade, when you start sports as a kid, you don't think about it that much. It's just like you go and play. And so here I had this challenge in front of me. Like I already saw people who were better than me. And I always, having two older brothers and a younger brother, like for some reason, I always just wanted to be just as good as my brothers or better. So when I saw my friends playing lacrosse and, they even had talked about it, I remember they're like, oh yeah, this summer we're going to UNC lacrosse camp. It's like, what? That is so cool. So that was kind of my first experience. And then at that point I had heard of it because they had like little laxers in third grade for the boys, but never for girls. And then sixth grade, I think they offered a travel team, but I just played in the house league because I was playing baseball and soccer. And I loved it. I mean, it was something so different. I was like so into just the little stick tricks and, trying to use my left hand. I got a stick from my neighbor. Remember, it was a rainbow shaft and a yellow head. And
I had a rainbow shaft and a yellow head.
didn't everyone?
I
Like,
guess. I don't know.
love it.
It's so cool. We're gonna have to find pictures and just compare. That would be so funny.
Yeah. So that's kind of my lacrosse experience, how it started. It really wasn't that as big as it is now. Like it's huge in Darien. It felt like a pretty big deal when I was a kid, but it's very big now.
Absolutely. And how did you come about hopping in the goal and becoming a goalie?
So I was in seventh grade, I think. So because I played soccer and baseball, I didn't make it to all the lacrosse games, and I was able to get away with not doing the whole goalie sub that everyone did. So I had no clue what it felt like to be a goalie. And all the other sports, like I loved being the one who scored the goal. Soccer, like everything. But my town's small. We all know each other, and there were a few parents in the town that were like, hey, I think we got to try Caylee in goal. Like, we're looking for a goalie. She's fearless. Think she has some quick feet. Like, let's give it a try, or quick hands. And one of my best friends from high school, actually, it was her dad who gave me a lesson. And I remember it felt so strange having to like keep my hands up here. Like I really didn't want to. I also didn't like standing still in the crease. Like all the actions over there. Like I want to be part of it. So it was an adjustment. I did not want to do it. My mom was like, okay, she'll play goalie if you let her play field for the first half of the game. And the turning point for me was, I'll never forget, we were playing our rival New Canaan. I was running down the sideline and I'm thinking like, I felt good about how fast I could run in seventh grade. I'm pretty different now about my confidence in running, but I thought I had all this space to go, and I just got completely stripped, like blindsided. And I just felt like, holy crap, I had no awareness that was happening. And more people would just kind of supported me more as a goalie. I was like, this is like, you have a future for this, you have potential. Meanwhile, I'm in seventh grade. I'm like, I don't know what that means. They're like, yeah, you can go to college. I'm like, are you sure? Like, I didn't really care about that concept in seventh grade. I'm like, just let me play with my friends and let me socialize at practice with them, kind of thing. So that's how it got started. And I played kind of half the games in seventh grade, and I didn't mind getting hit with the ball. That was fine. I don't really remember those memories. But eighth grade, I broke my leg in February skiing. So I was out all of lacrosse season. And I think that was a pretty big turning point for me of wanting to be a goalie. It was kind of like, okay, no one else is in that position. And there were parents in the youth league in my town who I'm super grateful for, who just like kind of cultivated this environment to help me learn lacrosse and goalkeeping by being like, here, go to this clinic at Sono Fieldhouse. Here, this person's going to help coach you. So that was pretty cool to kind of get that individual instruction, because having three brothers, I never got that. It's not like we ever had tutors or piano lessons. So that made me feel pretty special. Like, okay, cool. Like someone's working with me one-on-one. I've never gotten this before. So like, I really wanted to dive into that, and I had missed it by my leg being broken. I couldn't do anything for like 6 months. So it kind of made me hungry of like, okay, I want to get out there and like be good at this kind of thing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
really cool that you were so aware of all those little things at such a young age. Like when you think back on it now, and you kind of
Yeah.
you mentioned the phrase turning point like a couple times. And it's really cool that you had those moments in 7th and 8th grade of just like, okay, I started out hating goalie, but then it was so many people are paying so much attention to it. Maybe I actually have the potential. And then it was,
Yeah.
this sport, I want to get better at it. It's really cool that you can look back on that and be like, wow, I was 13, 14 years old and able to make those decisions for myself. And look at where it's taken you.
I didn't
Really
really realize it at the time, but looking back, I'm
no.
like, okay, wow, I did like think about things, and I just like felt like I was just going with the flow of what's in front of me. But yeah, I mean, there definitely was like emotional thought into it.
Absolutely. So you mentioned someone mentioning to you about college back in 7th grade, and you were just enjoying yourself and trying to get better at the game, and honestly just learning about lacrosse and learning to love it. When was the turning point for you when you started to realize, okay, hey, maybe I could play lacrosse in college and maybe that could take me somewhere as awesome as UNC?
Yeah, I think the turning point was maybe fall of my sophomore year. I remember I got an email. I think I was like sitting in the computer lab or library. I got an email at my high school email address, and is from my high school coach, Lisa Lindley. And she's like, hey, the Cornell coach is interested in you. And everything just like dropped inside of me. Like my heart, I think I got the chills, and I was like, holy crap, this is for real. Like I didn't know what to do about it. I felt like I was so young, and I'm like,
Were your teammates or anyone around you, like your friends, starting to get recruited and so you kind of knew about it, or it was just
oh,
complete?
I had no idea. And then that winter, there were clinics going on that were kind of goalie workshops. So I did that. I remember it was incorporated with the boys, and same thing. Like they were a little older, and I just like wanted to feel like, oh, I'm at that level. And I guess it wasn't until so I made varsity my freshman year, and then I played my sophomore year. And I think it was the springtime that either my high school coach or other parents were like, hey, you should go to camps and like try and get recruited. I think I was also on a club team. That was same thing. It's like they needed a goalie. So thankfully for that club team, because it is a big commitment in money, they're like, hey, like we'll help you out. And a lot of parents did too, of bringing me places. But I think it was pretty beneficial that I was kind of like aloof to the recruiting process at first. And so I signed up for 2 summer camps. I remember not knowing anywhere to do research. Like it's not like there were many people in my town who were goalies. Everyone were field players getting recruited. So I remember seeing on UNC's website that like, they do this, Phil Barnes takes the goalies and he works with them. And I was like, sweet, goalie instruction. Like I love that, dedicated goalie instruction. And then I went to Maximum Exposure at Maryland. It was close by, and there was a lot of college coaches there. And there is where I kind of got confidence in myself of, oh, I could play in college, but I have no idea like what level I'm at. I also wasn't really aware of what colleges were that good at lacrosse. Like that sounds pretty silly to say, because now there's so much coverage and you can see all that. But anyway, so because there were like I got to just play with other players around the country. I was just so used to playing with people in Darien or Fairfield County. And so seeing myself in that environment, being able to kind of like make those saves and just be at that high level, I was like, okay, I think I have a shot. So I remember just emailing, making my list and emailing and going to recruiting things. And luckily it kind of worked out for me come September 1st.
That's awesome. I love that too, because you were really focused in on what you wanted to excel at and what you knew you would be helpful at, which is the goalkeeping position, right? And you were like, okay, UNC has this literally listed, like that's an attraction to me. I really want, obviously they're going to pay attention to someone like me on their team, being a big part of their team. So I'm sure that kind of stuck in the back of your head as you went through the rest of the recruiting process, right?
Yeah, I mean, now that you say that, I think back and like, yeah, I was very interested in the position because it was kind of a mystery. There wasn't much out there for me to know. It's like you go to practice, everyone teaches field stuff. So I remember even Googling like goalie stuff, and there weren't any girls. And Oh, actually, so Andy Towers, the PLL coach, he used to be my neighbor in Darien. Crazy story. And he had moved, and as they were moving out, remember he gave my parents this DVD of goalkeeping. It was like UVA goalies shot, like, oh, here are some goalkeeping drills. I remember I had a portable DVD player and I would watch it in my bed before going to sleep. Like, and I was just so fascinated in these like little goalie drills. I'm like, okay, now I just need to get someone to do it with me. Like,
Right.
yeah, that was different than kind of all the other sports that I had played. Was I was so interested in like, how is this position performed like at a high level? So I think that's kind of what attached me to it. Little did I realize at the time.
Right. And that's really awesome to hear, because you can, I mean, obviously hear your passion for it, and now it's exactly what you're doing for a career. So
yeah,
like,
I did tell you to simplify me. Let me know. I like this could go on for 3 hours.
no. You're the one with the time limit. We could have made this 3 hours.
True.
I'm just kidding. But so one thing I love to ask a lot of our guests are, our teammates from the Pro League or from Team USA, and everyone kind of comes from different colleges, right? Where we used to play against each other and not necessarily really care about what was going on in the opposing locker room, only focusing on like your locker room or your huddles and what was going on. So one of my favorite questions to ask is like, when you were at UNC, what were some of your favorite like culture moments when you think back and you're like, this is very unique to the Tar Heels, right? Like, what are some of those things that you do? Maybe it's pregame or on long bus trips or in the hotel, in the huddle. What are those things for you guys?
Yeah, one thing is, as a freshman, you do karaoke, your fall ball trip on the bus. And if I remember correctly, maybe you have to wear headphones so that you can't really hear yourself. That's fun. And traditionally, what I love that always stands out is for pre-games, the defense and goalies play kickball. And so that's what I love. It's kind of just like anything competitive outside of lacrosse. We totally were into. Even Halloween, like each class went so big and grand on their Halloween costumes. We all wanted to make it memorable. In our locker room, so the team has a new locker room from when I was there, but in our rug, I don't know, maybe some other teams have this too, but like we have the huge NC thing, and it was kind of a thing like, oh, you can't walk on it.
Oh,
and
that's cool.
we'd always walk around it. Trying to think of what else.
Those are awesome.
Yeah.
Just very like really cool to hear everyone's different sides of things, right? Like, and just things that you when you think of UNC lacrosse, like you could just tell all these random stories about, and it's just kind of really special to your experience as a part of that team. So I love learning about it. I love hearing about it. I think it's really cool to now be, pros, and we're all teammates now, but we used to be, opponents, and just kind of going along our own way. And it's such a cool thing that our sport has brought us to this, so it's a cool way to look back on it. But so you talked a lot about your kind of position in goal, and a lot of questions that at least I get, coaching a lot of young girls is, as a goalie, there tends to be a lot of leadership when it comes to the defensive position, and honestly, just in general on the team. So when you think about leadership, what do you think are some of your best traits as a leader?
Yeah, that's a good question. Initially when I think of that question, my mind goes straight to when I was a captain at UNC, because just like that word is by default leader. But I mean, now I've graduated, I'm going on year 6 now. So leadership, sorry, can you repeat? Did you ask like what I see leadership in me, or just leadership in general?
What do you think are your strengths as a leader? It's a hard question because you have to think, you have to talk about yourself.
It is hard. I think even though I can talk a lot and I can be loud, like I think my strength more is leading by example. Kind of the way that I show up and my presence at practice and interaction with my teammates is, I've played a lot of different roles. I mean, I've always been a goalie, but I am very fortunate for the accolades that I have, but it came with riding the bench. It came with getting pulled in games. It, came with winning goalkeeper of a year 1 year, and then the next year not starting, or starting and, not playing then in championship games. And so I think a strength of my leadership is being able to still be there for my team in a different role, kind of not letting that affect me, and being supportive of my teammates. Like, one of the best relationships of a teammate that I have is Meg Ward, who was another goalie at UNC. And I mean, that's not all me. That's part of, the culture that UNC cultivated. It had to do with Meg as a leader as well. But that's just like helped me lead so much more in the future, of just being able to feel those different roles on a team and still bring that like energy.
So important. And that word was exactly what I was going to say. It's definitely a hard question. That's why I like to ask it, is to have you like talk about yourself as a leader. It's like the last thing that we want to do, right? We can talk about leadership in general, but when it comes to like looking inward, we're like, oh, I don't know, I'll ask my teammates, but I think you said that perfectly. And, I would have said the same about you. I also would have said that your energy just elevates everybody around you. And it's just contagious. You're always like leading with love, which I think is awesome. I think it's something that's really unique to you too. But I love that you said that, because I think that's something really important for a lot of our young listeners and parents to hear too. Just kind of going through all the different roles. That's really awesome. Hey guys, Kylie here. A short break from our conversation to remind you to check in on our social channels. You can find little snippets from our episodes on Instagram at dream.on_pod. And if you're a lacrosse stud looking for a unique way to train and develop into the best version of yourself, like our guest here most definitely has, check out the KO17 Lacrosse app in the App Store. That's KO17 Lacrosse. And at DREAM_ON_POD on Instagram. Come join the fam and we can keep dreaming on together. Okay, enough of that. We back. Okay, so you mentioned a lot. You mentioned a lot about kind of talking a little bit about UNC. Now let's think about post UNC. You said you've been graduated for a couple of years now, as have I, and it's just the years are just going way too fast. But graduating college, did you ever think that professional lacrosse was the next step for you?
I didn't think of it as the next step in the sense of it, like covering my life as much as it has. I saw it more as, it's just this stint over the summer for a couple weeks. So no, I didn't. I don't know what I saw, honestly, after college. I did not.
Well, that's the crazy part, right? Is after college, we most of the time have no idea what's next and how to handle what's next. And I think that's a really cool way for you to say that, is like, you thought it would be something almost on the side. Like lacrosse was almost everything when it came to when you were in college, all the way up to college, in college, right? And then you graduate and it's like, what's next? And what's really awesome is to find ourselves playing more so than not, right? And like investing in lacrosse more so than not now. So how has like post collegiately turned into now a couple of years later, starting to play a little bit in the professional leagues, obviously playing with Team USA and a lot of those training weekends. What are some of your like day-to-day daily workouts and routines and things that kind of keep you in lacrosse shape, keep you ready to play lacrosse? Because that is, like you said, one of your main priorities now.
Yeah. So post-college, working out is hard. Like, so I found that CrossFit was helpful for me. I loved being around a group of people. It pushes you physically and mentally. I love that there's just like, you don't know the workout beforehand. So I don't get a little anxious of like, there's all this that you show up and you just got to do it. So I like that kind of fulfillment of, wow, that seemed really hard. That was so hard in the moment. And so I do CrossFit, and also I think jump rope and ladders, those are big too, that I do. And I like wall work. So those are some things that I do by myself to help train me.
That's awesome. So another question about kind of balancing like lacrosse life and then professional life post collegiately. You just recently went lacrosse full time. Can you talk about your decision to do that?
Yeah. So that came after AU of season one. And I really credit Athletes Unlimited, their that environment, but that environment is made from, athletes like you, Kylie, and everyone else who it was such an accepting place where it's like, yeah, I went into it thinking I knew myself, right? It's like think you know yourself so much, but um there's just something about it that it felt more than just lacrosse. And so every day it just like had all this energy running through me to be around people, whether it was on or off the lacrosse field. And I liked feeling that way about myself. I'm like, wow, I'm truly showing up for me. It's almost like not really thinking about anything. I'm not thinking about what I'm putting on. I'm not like worried about what I'm saying or this or that. It's like I could truly just be there and make connections with new people, which was, I think that was pretty cool as well. And so yeah, I quit my job at Teamworks that I was there for 3 years, product manager, loved Teamworks. Like it was a great environment for a former student athlete, but I just felt myself in this better energy of like actually motivated and wanting to do things around these types of people with that same mindset. And it just gave me the confidence. Like I saw other people like you there who they run their own lacrosse business. Like that's their full-time gig. And, you took that risk right out of college. Like that's incredible. For me, I needed more of that structure of that kind of like corporate role to like bring me back in and be like, Caylee, you can do this. Because I kind of was just worried about, oh, there's just too much freedom out there to making your own choices. But yeah, I mean, just Athletes Unlimited, like it really just pushed my love for lacrosse. I thought that I loved lacrosse. And I'm just like, wow, there's this whole other realm that I truly, truly love being out there with teammates, players, coaching. And so I was like, I got to make this my life. Like I'm missing out on myself if I'm not doing that.
Wow, I love that. Missing out on yourself if you're not chasing after something that gives you that much energy. That's really, really fulfilling. That's awesome. And definitely resonated with me. So I appreciate that. I appreciate you sharing that. And I'm excited to do some stuff in the future, some goalie attack work for sure.
Yeah, drop in a sneak peek right here. KO17 and Caylee might be getting together.
I love it. Okay, so you talked a little bit about Athletes Unlimited and how much it really was fulfilling for you and you love being out there playing. What are your hopes for the future of our sport when it comes to professional lacrosse, college lacrosse, all sorts of realms of lacrosse at all different levels? What are your hopes for the future if you think in like 5-10 years down the line?
There are a couple things. So in terms of professionally, I hope that it becomes a platform that women like us can feel like that's our full-time gig. Like when I left or when Athletes Unlimited ended season one, I felt proud of myself to say I'm a professional athlete. Before it used to just, I used to kind of half-ass it, sorry for the curse word, of like, oh yeah, I like kind of play professionally, woohoo. But now I'm like, no, this is a real deal. Like I am a professional athlete and I'm going to live with that 365 days a year, not just when I'm in season. So kind of just building more on that for more women to feel that way and actually have that be their full-time gig so they don't have to be doing another job, that they can fully invest in that, because I think that's then just going to help inspire younger girls to dream on. Another thing for our sport, what I'd like to see is just, I'm not a college coach, but just kind of less recruiting. I mean, it happens 12 months of the year. I just feel bad for these girls. There's so much going on. I think it's pretty saturated and a lot is enticing with social media. Like I give these events credit. Like they're pretty sick what they put on, the video, the highlights. And I do think some of it is great for the girls are meeting. What I've noticed is they meet girls from other parts of the country and they become teammates and close to each other. And like, they're very supportive. So I love that ability for for those girls in that environment. I just think it's so much. And I just don't want people to get, their girls are burnt out. Like we met some girls a couple weeks ago, the U16, U18, USA girls, and I give them credit. They were very open of like, yeah, I was burnt out at one point, and they talked about it, which I love. Like, we talk about that with mental health, is you got to speak out and you realize you aren't alone. So I'd love to just see something going on with our sport to kind of really reel it in so that these girls don't feel so pressured. Like, they're good. They'll be able to get good. They don't need to be traveling nonstop.
Yeah, that was beautifully said. And I think that's a really good point to make as well, that you said, is don't be afraid to talk about it, whether it's with us, right? Where our ears are always open, our inboxes are always open. And most of the time, more times than not, we've been through something similar. So hopefully we can have a conversation. So I love that you mentioned that. And two really important points too. What do you think about the future of Caylee Waters? What are your hopes and dreams for the future of you?
Oh, it's a good question that I should face. So thank you for asking that. No, I love to just like.
What are your dreams, Caylee? What are your dreams? What do you dream to do?
So I really love, well, one, I would love for lacrosse to be in Olympics, and I want to be there, kind of thing. So I'd love, as a player, I'd love for that. That's a dream. Secondly, just building more on this goalie foundation that I have. Right now, I'm just kind of running clinics and lessons, but I think that after going to the World Championships, I saw that there is a mass amount of goalies out there, and I love it. And they are invested and hungry. And I don't think that there are enough females out there, goalies, who are able to provide that instruction. And, these girls want it. So, I want to, like, you have an app, like that'd be sweet for goalies to be able to access that, get drills. Also want to provide a lot of goalie knowledge to coaches. Like, I know that there are a lot of coaches out there who aren't goalies, and they want to know, like, they want to help their goalies out. And I think that people can be a coach without being in that position. So providing that as well. Trying to think what else for the future of Caylee long term.
I love it for now. Those are some big goals. And the cool part about it is, and this is why I asked the question, is I'm a firm believer, and this is something I share with my girls all the time, is if you put it out into the universe, then you're more likely to want to actually go after it. So that's why I asked the question, right? It's just like, right, if you write it down on a piece of paper, you're like, oh, I have to make that happen and check it off. So it's the same thing, put it out into the universe, and we're gonna get all sorts of goalie drills out into the world for.
Now you're my accountability buddy. You guys got you right here.
Heard it here first. Breaking news. I love it. Okay, who is Caylee off the lacrosse field? Something I have kind of taken note of, and I mentioned this before when we asked about our leadership kind of skills and traits, and something I've always noticed is how fun and energetic, and you just love competition and games and all of that good stuff, but the energy is always there, from what I can see. So where do you think that comes from in terms of like you being you? Is that energy always there? And why is it such a big piece of your personality?
So it is a big piece of my personality. It does show up in other ways, but something that's been consistent in my life is that it's always showed up with lacrosse. And that's not just me. It's like a two-way street with the sport. And I don't know, I've been fortunate enough, the people in the game of lacrosse in so many realms, youth, high school, college, US, AU, like whether it's actual teammates or staff members, there's just something that's been so like warm and welcoming that it just brings out my energy, that I'm just like me. I mean, I can be loud and it can, I don't know, just
fun.
So that's why I've always been happy in that space. And I'm lucky that it's never really been tainted too much. I mean, yeah, there's been times that it's been like burnt out, and sometimes at practice I don't have full energy, but at some point it does turn around, and that's like, luckily it's like I can lean on teammates for that, and then it brings it out. But I don't know, there's just something magical about the sport that's in me, and it's just like, I don't know, I step on the field or lacrosse and I'm around people, I'm like, let's freaking go. Like there's just something about it. It's like, I wouldn't want to be anywhere else right now.
Yeah.
It's like, I may dread it for a second beforehand. Like, oh, it's super hot out. Don't want to be out there or something. Or, oh, I'm tired. But when I get there, it's just like, oh yeah, sick. Like, I'm so glad I'm here.
Wow. That's awesome. Really, really cool that you kind of like made that analogy at the end too, right? Like everyone's been in those moments where it's like, oh, again, you know, and then it's just like, it's the energy that surrounds you, the teammates and the moments, and kind of just like feeling grateful to be there. I love that. And I can't wait to get back out on the field with you. You're firing me up over here, Kale. But okay, again, off to the lacrosse field, what are some of the things that make you super happy? Like you said, that energy is just kind of within you when it comes to stepping on the lacrosse field. What are the things off the lacrosse field, hobbies, books you like to read, things you like to do when you're not playing lacrosse? What are some of those things for you?
Yeah, that's what's great about post college. You really get to like dive into those things. So some things that make me happy. I've actually learned how to have alone time with myself. Like, I'm so, being from a family of 3 brothers, like there's always something going on in the house, and then you go to college and you have roommates and stuff. So first, so it's like weird being alone. What do I do? Like, I don't want to just scroll on my phone or watch TV. Like, so I love doing the crossword, New York Times, like Sunday night, 6 p.m. The Monday one comes out. Monday one is the easiest. And it's like, I look forward to it. I like it. Monday morning with coffee. My family. So my mom's one of 5. I have a lot of cousins. We all range from like 20 years old to 35, I think. And makes me so happy when we're all together, even aside from holidays. It's like we all come together to support someone in something. My uncle has a house in Vermont, so just like love going there with my family. Trying to think there. I do like to read some books. I like to listen to podcasts. I'm spontaneous. Like, I like to just, if someone's like, hey, let's go on this adventure, I'm like, okay, cool. I've never been there. So I like to try new things. I kind of just like go through phases of sports. Like, I'm in pickleball. I've been in a golf phase. I like to play pool. I love to watch sports.
Yeah.
New York Giants. Go Giants.
Yeah.
Love to watch college sports, go to sporting events. Yeah, I like to cook some good food.
Wow.
Kind of anything. I don't know. Like,
Well,
I just try new things.
Yeah, no, that's really cool. And I'm definitely going to ask you about some of the places that you've traveled to, because I think that's another big part of like our jobs, but it's also just a really cool part of your personality. Like you said, you're down to try anything and go anywhere and adventure. So I can't wait to hear about that. We have a question about that at the end. So before we get into our questions from our KO17 lacrosse family members, we have a 2-sided question real quick, and it's just about a little bit of mentorship or inspiration that you've gotten. So from someone in your life, maybe like a coach or a mentor or a family member, what is one piece of advice that you've gotten that you've kind of just taken throughout your entire life so far?
That's a tough question. Jeez. Well, I find that Jenny and Phil have been they're my college coaches from UNC. Jenny, head coach, and Phil worked with the goalies closely. They were my mentors. You don't really feel it that much in college because you see them every day and it's like, oh, they're always impacting you. But just kind of looking back, Jenny, she's pretty well balanced of how she shows up at practice, of, just encouraging and pushing. And something that she always says is that, celebrate the little things. And so how I've taken that is that, like, I got to show up at practice at UNC and, be competitive, but also be my goofy self and be loud and do whatever kind of thing. And she kind of trusted that, and she lets us just be ourselves. And when she says celebrate the little things, it's like it's it's allowed me to then be like, hey, the defender just made some sweet play. And, she would credit that in a huddle, like, hey, that was our turning point on the ride, or, and it's just like those kind of things then would just get me so hyped, just these little things, and just make it that much more fun to play. And I just have carried that in my life, of especially post grad, like, it can be hard without your team and other people cheering you on, even for those little things. So I just kind of try and remember that throughout my day of, oh, like, that's something to cheer about. Not all things are easy. Like, maybe one day something is easy, like going to a workout, and another day it isn't. So just like accomplishing that. Just celebrating the little things, because there's so much to celebrate.
Hey guys, Kylie here. A short break from our conversation to remind you to check in on our social channels. You can find little snippets from our episodes on Instagram at dream.on_pod. And if you're a lacrosse stud looking for a unique way to train and develop into the best version of yourself, like our guest here most definitely has, check out the KO17 Lacrosse app in the App Store. That's KO17 Lacrosse. And at DREAM_ON_POD on Instagram. Come join the fam and we can keep dreaming on together. Okay, enough of that. We back. That was beautifully said. I'm not even going to add anything to that. I love it. All right, I'm flipping the question around though. So if you are Jenny now and someone's looking up to you, so I'm just kind of flip-flopping it. What is one piece of advice or inspiration that you hope that someone who's following you or looks up to you as a role model would take away from you?
Oh my God.
Sorry, I'm making you think today.
No, it's good. Like I said, these are good self-reflection questions to have now in the back pocket. Just to be yourself out there. And I think it's like easier said than done. And that takes taking risks. And this is something that Jenny says too, is being comfortable being uncomfortable. And that could be little things. Like, I love to dance in the locker room. Sometimes it would feel uncomfortable if I was a freshman and it's like, oh, I don't know these seniors that well. Do I like look like a fool, or do they like think this or that of a freshman? It's like, you just go out and do it and you feel good because you did it. So just looking up of being yourself, but to do that, taking those risks and being authentic and okay with it, of like failing and having humility in it.
I love that. Be yourself. We're going to make t-shirts.
Yeah. Hey, goalies, everyone says goalies, they're this different breed, they're this or that, but you know what, we are, but everyone's so unique as a goalie. And so I want to kind of try and push that upon people, like, you play with a style, own who you are in the cage, because that will help you feel confident about who you are outside of the cage, kind of thing.
Wow, you're giving me so many one-liners to cut up and put on social media. Okay.
I don't think so. I don't know. Really are run on sentences.
Not at all. Not at all. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we have a couple questions from our KO17 fam. They wrote in when they heard that you were going to be a guest, and some of these are actually really fun. We have two of them before we get into our last segment, which is called Quick Finishes. So our first question this is from @BlessedJourneyCC on Instagram. They want to know, do you still replay that insane save from the World Championship game versus Australia this summer?
Because of social media, yes. If it was not for that social media post, I don't know what I would remember of that play, honestly. It just happened so fast. So
can you break it down for listeners?
What'd you say?
Can you break down the play for our listeners?
It's kind of like, now I have two views of it, because one, I see it from the angle of social media, and then what was I thinking? Okay, yeah, I gotta be honest about this one. So I came out of the cage. I don't remember why. The ball was in the back of the net, and I am antsy and I like any chance to get involved. So I came out to get the ground ball, but I remember I got too close to the ball, or like there was a scrum and I couldn't pick it up. And I felt someone just like nudge me a little. So I flopped for the first time ever. I got to admit, I flopped. Like, just like, give me the, like, refs, thank you. You give the goalies the calls. I'm like, okay, I want the ball. So I flopped and nothing. Like if you replay it, like you see my body like turn into a fish and drop. So I got to admit that. And there was nothing. I'm like, oh crap. Like, I can't like let this, like, I got to redeem myself. Like, I totally just took a stupid risk. Like, play the freaking game, Caylee. Don't play the flops. So I was like, I got to get back in the cage. And I remember just running in and seeing, okay, they passed the ball up top. That's good. They didn't just like keep running past me or something. I was like, just watch the ball. Like, at that point, I didn't even really know where the cage was. I was just like, I got to watch the ball. So then when they shot it, I just dove at it. Like, I didn't know, I had no clue where I was in the cage. I was just like, okay, I'm getting to it. Yeah, that was it. And yeah, honestly, I watched the replay. I'm like, oh, thankfully that hit like the thumb.
Gosh, that's so funny to hear the insider replay of that, because like you said, a lot of like plays on social media, right? Like they'll look so awesome and you wonder what's going through the player's head, and you just gave us that inside look. That's really cool.
Yeah.
But such an awesome one. One that I'll never forget. And like I remember, so I was on the field on the other side, on the attacking side, and it was one of those moments where I think the possession was so long on their side. So for me, I was starting to like kind of not like lose interest, but like more so just kind of like relax a little bit. Like my adrenaline was kind of starting to relax. And then the second you hopped back in that cage and made that diving save, I just remember every little like hair sticking up on my arm. Like I was just like so fired up. And I was like, okay, I'm back in the game.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Cool.
That's funny that you say that. Yeah, now that you say that, it's like I do remember thinking like, okay, Caylee, like you just made that safe, like stay calm and cool. Like we still need to get the ball back. I think the other team had gotten it or something. I'm like,
yeah.
Okay. And like I heard the crowd cheering, like, whoa, was that really that big of a deal? Like, hello,
Right.
there's still the play going on. So that's just the goalie.
Pay attention.
Constantly going.
Oh, that's so funny. That's a cool question. Thank you for submitting that one, because that got us really kind of looking into the inside look of all the players on the field there. Okay, last question here. From Sophie Lancaster 17, what was the habit that made the biggest difference in your gameplay?
That's a good question. So gameplay, that a lot of gameplay has to do with mentality as a goalie. And I think goalies probably hear that, oh, it's 80% mental, 20% skill. So I would say mentality wise, how I showed up to the game. And it was a feeling of not just confidence, but of like, I can take on anything in a sense. Like, no matter what shot comes my way, like, I want that challenge kind of thing of like, yeah, I want to win this game with my team, and knowing that I can play my best in this. So it's feeding yourself that confidence. But the reason why I was able to feed myself confidence is knowing how I showed up every day at practice, that like practice mattered. Yes, I did stay after practice a lot and saw shots, and that helped build confidence. And even just I remember my teammates like Carly Reed and Molly Hendrick, we would stay after practice and shoot, and Katrina did a lot, and we would just do game sense, like, oh, like game's on the line, 10 seconds left, like blah. So those are fun, just situational, and Jenny would do that in practice too, and just get so competitive about it, of like making it feel real. So just the ability to have a high level practice and be focused, especially as a goalie. It's like you may have all the skill, but if you're not like really focused in a balanced way, not a focused of tense, I got to make this save of just like, it's that locked in, like that adrenaline, like you get that as an attacker too, of just like letting the game come to you and playing it because you've done all that other work before. And it's not just muscle memory, but like that work so that the game doesn't feel all that different. It's just like, wow, this is a stage to finally show off.
I love that. I think the situational things too, that like your teammates and your coaches and you kind of like went through as well, right? And like continuously like ask for after practice. That's something you still do, which I love, like
Yeah.
like I think the one time I've ever been to UNC, and this is post grad for both of us,
Yeah.
but it was when my sister was playing down there for Stony Brook against UNC, and we got together with Marie and we got some shots up, and it was just no matter what drill we did, you were like, I don't want to do a drill. Let's give me a game, like give me a situation, and it was just way better to practice that way, even for us, right? Like games on the line, we got to take the right shot. So it was just really cool to practice that way because I think that's so realistic and a really great habit to, add in so that it shows up on game day.
And just like mentally being bought in that is, hey, like not just because it's practice and we're doing situation, it's like, hey, you got to buy in and like really put yourself in that area. I know, that was so fun that I did that.
That was cool. We gotta do that more often.
Especially now that we're nearby.
Yes, we're neighbors, but not closer. Okay, last segment here is a super fun one where we just kind of, it's supposed to be rapid fire, but I'm not gonna lie, I don't think I've ever had a guest that actually made it rapid fire, so no pressure. It's called quick finishes. Okay, it's called quick finishes, and it's just gonna be a bunch of random questions just to get to know you. You ready?
Yeah.
All right. Pizza or tacos?
Tacos.
There you go. We're good.
You're slowing us down. Okay.
One band or artist that you'd want to see in concert right now?
Oh my God. Adele.
Ooh, good one. What's the best snack in your opinion?
Rice Krispie treats.
Ooh, good one. What's your favorite place that you've traveled to?
Spetsy's Greece. Shout out Mary Shane. Thank you. But I also love Vermont.
Okay. An athlete that you like to follow for inspiration?
Oh God, that's tricky. Okay. 2 types of inspiration. One, Christy Mewis and Sam Kerr. They are a really cute couple soccer players. So like I just follow that for that LGBTQ content. It's so cute. And I mean they're also just like great athletes too, soccer stars. And others, I don't know. I follow Serena Williams, but I really like actually following her daughter's content. She's
oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. So like Alex Ost, like you love how authentic her posts are, and just like knowing her too, I'm like so relatable. I feel you. I like all sorts of athletes. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm the same way. What is your favorite number and why?
I'm gonna go with number 43. I was just given it in college. I didn't get any of the numbers that I wanted, and why? I think because I've evolved to loving it. It's just like now associated with me. I don't really know anyone else with it. Yeah, I kind of broke the stereotype of thinking in my head, why does every goalie need to have a high number? And I just chose to love it instead of just being like, why am I that goalie with a high number again? It's like, and 4 + 3. One of my best friends, Cindy Holman, her mom, Mrs. Holman, would always be like, hey, lucky number 7, being like 4 + 3 is 7, and 7 used to be my favorite number. So that's
wow.
why.
Wait, that's cool. So it does have some sort of story behind it. You just didn't realize. That's
yeah.
awesome.
I've like built a story around it now.
I love it. Okay, last 2. Are you a morning person or a night owl?
Morning person.
Last but not least, what is one thing on your bucket list?
Ooh, I would love to go to Spain and teach lacrosse, but be a lot better at be able to speak Spanish a lot better so that I could coach in Spanish while speaking Spanish.
Wow. That's really awesome. I've heard a lot of different.
That's like something that's a dream of mine.
No, that's great. I am also just putting in my kind of like application to come alongside you. But I love it. But that is the end of all of our questions for our episode. And I just want to say thank you so much for hanging out with us and giving us a real deep inside look into the mindset of Caylee Waters. I think a lot of people who follow you know your accolades and know how awesome of a goalie you are and know how awesome of an athlete you are. But I think from listening to this, they'll realize how awesome of a person and teammate you also are. So I'm really grateful to know you. And I can't wait to continue getting to know you as teammates. And I'm just, again, really grateful from me and the KO17 fam that you decided to come on the Dream On Pod. Thanks, Caylee.
Thanks, Kai. I think if we were to rewatch this, you'd see I have a smile on my face the whole time. So I loved hanging out with you. Like, I think we gotta somehow switch the roles. And as you were asking me these questions, I was thinking, it's like, I want to know Kylie's answer. Like, I want to know these things about you. So if you ever want to switch up your podcast, I'll ask you the questions.
Okay, so honestly, that could be a really cool, fun project, and I will definitely hire you as the host. So,
okay,
your idea. I love it. Well, thank you so much, everyone listening, for listening in to another Dream On Pod episode. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, everyone. See ya.